Welcome, everyone, to the first of many of the Sam and Cam podcasts. I'm Cam, and I'm joined with my co-host, Sam.
What's going on, boys?
You can look forward to these podcasts every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Have your clock set. It's going to be good ones.
And for our first podcast, we're going to jump into some talks about our buds, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, the last couple nights ago, we played Tampa, lost 6-2. A little bit of a tough go. Tampa is a strong team. We're also strong, but they're going crazy this year. Kucherov, we got Stammer, obviously, but yeah, they've been going nuts recently. You got anything to say on that, Cam? Anything to elaborate on, or what?
The scary thing about that game is that Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, and Steven Stamkos only combined for 2 points. So the three best players on that Tampa squad that has 110 points, leading the NHL by a long shot.
Crazy.
The top players on that team only combined 2 points to the 6 goals scored. Cedric Paquette and Tyler Johnson were the big producers for them, both putting in 2 goals. But one thing to talk about this game was Anderson was pulled early. He only faced 19 shots. And
let me ask something before we go on that. With the loss, you saying the three best players only getting 2 goals, do you think maybe the Leafs were nervous going into this or what? I think maybe they're a little bit nervous playing Tampa, seeing their 110 points, 100 whatever it is. I bet you they're worried 100%. I would be.
The thing about the Leafs is coming into the season, they were comparable to the Tampa Bay Lightning. A lot of analysts and insiders believe that with the addition of John Tavares, that the Toronto Maple Leafs stood a very good chance to match up with Tampa, if not be better. So I don't think nerves were a thing there. I just think the Tampa Bay Lightning got a lot of lucky bounces, in my opinion. If you look at the first 4 goals, one was off a skate, one was off a knee, one was a tap-in, and the fourth was a deflection off of Austin Matthews as he was turning around. So there was a lot of unfortunate turns in that game, but they did still beat the Leafs 6-2.
Well, next point, we got 5-4 loss against Chicago. I know we're talking about losses, so it's making our buzz look a little shit, but 5-4 loss against Chicago. It was 5-0 going into the third. I'm pretty sure it was 5-0, first and second?
No, it wasn't 5-0 going into the third. It was actually 5-1 going into the third.
Oh, yeah, they scored second. I know it was 4-0 the first period, though, for the whole first period.
4-0 after the first.
First period. That was, ugh, I don't even want to talk about that.
It was an unbelievable first period to watch. Frederik Andersen led in those 4 goals. He did only make 10 saves, so he allowed 4 goals on 14 shots. Not saying they were his fault. The Leafs did hang him out to dry, but that's 2 games in a row. Frederik Andersen pulled against Tampa. Frederik Andersen pulled against Chicago. Is that worrying for you about Frederik Andersen, or is that more a reflection on the defense?
Defense, 100%. Frederik Andersen has been performing most of the year, if not all the year. Defense are weak. I'd say Gardner is ass. We need to trade him. Obviously,
he's not even playing.
I'm not even a big fan of him. I just got to get that across. He's freaking shit. But defense a little bit weak. Obviously, offense are strong. We got Marner, Matthews, John Tavares. Even captains performed a little bit. Nylander came out slow, but
he's got 19 points on the year. Like a guy sitting out demanding money coming in, and he doesn't even.
I'm not a big fan of him either.
To be honest, though, just a little point here about Nylander. Nylander might not be getting the points, but he has looked really good out on the ice. He's gotten a lot of unlucky breaks, multiple posts in that Chicago game. And I just feel like maybe come playoff time, luck will be on his side, which might help the Leafs out a little bit more.
I hope so. But no, I don't know. I think our defense are weak. I think we got to do something with our defense if we want to have a good chance or a better chance to the cup. But I don't know. It's tough, obviously. I don't know if you got anything to say about what you think maybe we should change on defense, if you want to get rid of Gardner or whether it's other people you want to get rid of. But
well, Gardner is a free agent after this season, and many people are saying that he's going to demand like $7 million. So there's no chance he's going to be on the Leafs after this season. And they should have made a move at the deadline for a defenseman. Justin Falk, Dougie Hamilton were on the block. And I just don't think that not making a move was the smart move for the Leafs. So, talking about defense, moving into the playoffs, the Leafs are set to face the Boston Bruins again in the first round.
We know
Very
what happened
scary.
the last time we did that.
God,
Oh,
very
that's
scary
a bad
for Leafs
memory,
fans.
bro.
That team terrifies me. Like, they don't even have to be the best in the league. They don't have to have the best roster, the best goal scorer, the best goalie. It's just the Boston Bruins seem to have the Maple Leafs number. And if the Leafs want to win that series, I think having home ice advantage is huge.
We need that. We need it against these guys, man. Obviously, last time we played them and went to Game 7, it was tough. Like you said, I'm afraid of that team, bro. That team scares me. But, yeah, home ice advantage would be huge. I think if we do have home ice advantage, we do have a better chance. I think even without home ice advantage, we do have a good chance against them. I'd rather play them than Tampa. Obviously, like I said, Tampa's just going crazy right now. But definitely they would be the first team I'd want to pick over Tampa. If we do beat them, then I'm praying we do, just for kind of for revenge over last time we did
and
it.
just to make it to the second round for once. God.
Yeah.
I mean, the Leafs don't have, like, they have a lot of talent on that team. It's just that, like we were saying earlier, defense is lacking so heavily that I think it'll come to bite them in the playoffs, because you see the Leafs winning a lot of games with high scoring on their end, and they're allowing a lot of goals on their own end. For example, the Chicago game. Chicago's barely in a playoff spot, or fighting to be in a playoff spot. They're not even in a playoff spot, and they come out and put up 4 in the first period. That's not even an elite team. They have an elite player in Patrick Kane. Now you have an elite team like the Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightning.
What could happen there?
God, like, you have multiple elite players. What's going to happen to your team? So I think that's a huge thing to look at. And a little bit of a curveball to throw here is the wild card race in the East is so tight that the Leafs could possibly be out of a playoff spot if they keep losing.
Please.
Like, you got it's so tight in the East. It's unbelievable. You got Toronto at 89 points, and the second wild card spot in the East is the Columbus Blue Jackets, who just added Matt Duchene, Ryan Dzingel, Adam McQuaid, and Keith Kincaid to their team. Very good team, meshing together. I'm sure they'll make a good run to the playoffs and possibly a run for the Cup. But do you think that's even a possibility for the Leafs to somehow find their way out of the playoffs?
No, that's all I'm going to say. No. Please. We need to make the playoffs. We need to get the Cup, man. If we get the Cup, God, we have to be downtown for that one.
That's a long shot, though, I gotta say.
But I don't even think like that, man, because honestly I've seen in past that teams that they say, like teams like Tampa have faced other teams saying, they'll beat us, or they'll slap us, and you never know, man. The freaking chills can come through, and you never know what can happen. That's why I always just keep my eyes and my opinions open. But if we do get the Cup, it'll be fun. But like you said, it could be a long shot, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep it open, see what we can do with it. But we're gonna move on to our next point: off-season thoughts. What do you got to talk about? Maybe off-season, what we're gonna do with the team. Could we do anything smarter with the team? Defense? What do you think?
Well, the Leafs obviously need to get a defenseman. I'm not sure exactly who said it, but on the trade deadline day, an analyst did make it evident that the Leafs, Dubas made a statement saying that he was confident in Hall, the one of the AHL defensemen for the Marlies, saying that he was confident in him. But one of the analysts said, if you're getting to a point where you're getting down to Hall, that means that your team has a lot of injuries on the defensive end, and that means you're in kind of a tough spot. So, off-season thoughts: make a trade for a defenseman, sign a defenseman, just make a move for a defenseman. But let's just get away from the negatives of the Leafs quickly. Back into the regular season, you got Mitch Marner, 84 points. You have John Tavares, now 39 goals, a career high. What's more likely to happen? John Tavares getting a 50-goal season, or Mitch Marner getting a 100-point season?
Obviously, I hope both, but Marner is my boy. He's crazy, can set anybody up. You can put the worst hockey player with Marner, and he'll find a way to set you up. But obviously, I hope it is both, but more realistically is probably John Tavares, honestly. I don't know what you think about that, but I don't know.
The thing that scares me about Marner is if he does get the 100 points, which not many players do, will that bump his price up? Because the Leafs do need to sign Marner in this offseason. And you had Brad Marchand joking, saying that he should get a $12 million a year salary. And if that's the thing, if that's what Marner's asking for, I don't think the Leafs are going to be able to sign him.
Oh man, we need to keep him, man. We need to find a way to keep him. Hopefully he can just say, you know what, sign me for a little bit less. I want to stay with the team. I don't know. He's not the type of guy that'll be greedy for money. It seems like. I think he's.
You wouldn't think that about a lot of players, but hey, man, when you're talking about millions here and you're a 20-year-old kid,
fuck, buddy. I do construction. I'd rather get paid millions to play hockey than do this shit.
Think about
these guys gotta think the real life, man. They're getting paid tremendous amounts to freaking play a sport.
Yeah, like you're thinking, like if we were in his shoes, and you were getting offered 12 to play for, let's say, the Ottawa Senators, and you were getting 9, or I think the Leafs will be able to offer him 10. So you're getting paid 10.
I would take the 10 to say.
I would take the 10 to win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you never know. You never know. Money can change someone.
I don't know. I don't think he's like that, man. I think he'll stay with the Buds. I hope he does, but I don't know. Let's hope both boys get their points. The 50 points for JT and the 100 points for Marner. Obviously, it'll be good for both of them. I'll be happy for both of them. But moving on from hockey, we're gonna move on to basketball. We got Raptors with the struggle. If you want to talk about that,
recent struggles. They're 2-2 in their last 4. It's not huge, but it's a little worrying to me that a fully healthy roster of the Toronto Raptors, Kyle Lowry, Danny Green, Marc Gasol, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, everyone was playing in that game. Well, that was their starting lineup. Everyone was playing in that game, and they still found a way to lose to one of the worst teams in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I still think the Cleveland Cavaliers might have a little bit of a mental advantage over the Raptors, beating them in the playoffs very easily last season with LeBron. It's just the team going to Quicken Loans Arena. I think there might just be a little bit of a mental thing there. That'll eventually get through. But talking about that Cleveland game, I think possibly the most exciting part of that game was Serge Ibaka and Marquise Chris throwing it down.
Throwing hands, boys. You don't see that much. 100%. Ibaka from Africa coming to Toronto, you know, he's a savage. Guy chokes him out, man. I was crying when I seen that.
Marquise Chris looked shook. He was scared, man. They're both big guys, but I think Marquise Chris, if you look at the video back, Marquise Chris obviously said something to him.
Yeah,
and
Ibaka wouldn't just do something like that.
No, Ibaka, he was probably just already annoyed from the law. Like, they're down by that much. He was probably annoyed that he got pulled to the ground by Chris. Chris said something to him, and then he just was done. Just started swinging for the fences there. God.
Yeah, I'd be tripping if Ibaka grabbed me. I'd be, oh no, God, I'm dead.
But he got a 3-game suspension. Yeah. Marquise Chris got a 1-game suspension, and Ibaka will be serving his first game of that suspension tonight when the Raptors face the Lakers. That's a big small forward matchup of Kawhi Leonard, and you could argue now the best player in the world, LeBron James. A lot of people, because his team is struggling, are saying that he's no longer the best player in the world, but I'll still stick that he is the best player in the world. So you have two of the best, most elite players in the NBA facing off against each other. Which team's going to come up victorious?
I got to say the Raptors. Lakers don't have Ingram or Lonzo Ball. And I think we're out someone too. Who are we out?
Kyle Lowry is not playing in this game.
No, so I think we can still take them. I don't know if you want to put your input, but I think against the Lakers, I think tonight we'll have them. Right now, currently it is 56-52, but
for the Raps,
obviously, yeah, for the Raptors, obviously. But I think hopefully we'll take it. I think we will take it. Obviously, with those two players out. LeBron has seen it, has done it before though.
Yeah, single-handedly beat the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, has clutched up for his team before, but no, overall I think we'll take it. I don't know if you want to say something about that, but
yeah, LeBron currently has 13 points, and the leading scorer for the Raptors is actually Norman Powell off the bench. It seems to be a little bit of a slow game again. Pascal Siakam's 1 for 6, Leonard's 4 for 9, but many people have said Lowry's had a down year this year, but he is clearly the engine of the team. When he's off the court, it seems the offense falls flat, and I think you could argue Lowry is the most important player to this team. A lot of people might hate me for that, but that's just my opinion. So as I mentioned before, Kawhi Leonard versus LeBron James. There's been speculation it's either the LA Clippers, the LA Lakers, or the Toronto Raptors. Without being biased, where's Kawhi going and why?
Not even being biased, I think he will stay in Toronto. I think he sees the stuff we can do, and I hope he does stay in Toronto. I think we need him. He's performed for us so far. I hope we do get to keep him. I don't want the Clippers to have him. I don't want the other team to have him. I definitely want us to keep him. But I don't know. You never know where it'll go. Like you said before, even when we talk about the hockey, man, money can change anything. It could be a little difference between $1 million that'll change where he goes.
Hey, the Raptors can offer him more money than any other team. They can offer him a supermax when other teams cannot. Actually, I think other teams can offer him a 4-year supermax when the Raptors can offer him a 5-year supermax. So if it is money for Kawhi Leonard, he will stay in Toronto. But if it's the weather, he's obviously going to go to LA.
The weather, we got warm winters here.
Yeah, warm winters. If Kawhi does leave, though, quick little point here, will that be a rebuild for the Raptors, or will they somehow find a way to still contend in the weak East? The East is very weak at the bottom end, so the Raptors could be a 6 to 8 seed, bottom seed in the playoffs.
If he does leave, I think we will have to rebuild. Obviously, you can say the East, but once you get into playoffs and you start facing other teams that are strong, I think we're going to need a better player. If he does leave, our main player, Kyle Lowry, we don't obviously have DeMar DeRozan, him going to the Spurs. If he does leave, I think we'll have to rebuild, honestly, to be honest. Because I think we can maybe beat the East, like you said, they're weak, but once you get into playoffs and you face the other teams, I don't know. You can't go on from there, really. You got to have a strong team, I think.
If
Especially
Kawhi
against Golden
leaves,
State.
oh God, let's not even talk. The team the Raptors have now, I don't know if they can beat Golden State. The team's ridiculous, but you'd have a 34-year-old Kyle Lowry next year, getting paid $33 million in the last year of his contract, and you could argue that the best player on the Raptors, the second best player, could be Pascal Siakam. I don't agree with that, but that's been an opinion that people have thrown out there so far this season, but I do believe that the Raptors could still contend in the East if Kawhi leaves.
Bucks are strong. They got Antetokounmpo, which is an absolute GOAT. I love Antetokounmpo.
Their
All I
team's
use in
so
NBA
deep.
2K19, I use Antetokounmpo. He's an absolute gem.
Yeah.
What? But no, I think we can. I think the race will go on our side. I think we can do it. I hope we can get up to the Bucks and hopefully take them down. But I don't know. Let's move on to the West side. Obviously, we've been talking about the East, the Raptors, and everything. We got a race in the West. Will Lakers come through, sitting 7 games out of the playoffs? I don't know what you got to say about that. Will LeBron, will Lonzo, will they come back, or will LeBron have to do it by himself?
Well, Lonzo and Ingram are actually out for the season. They've been shut down for the year. But the squad that LeBron has right now, it's just not enough. Last season, they were 51-31, the Cavs, and he at least had another all-star with him in Kevin Love. This year, he doesn't have an all-star with him. He doesn't have a veteran with him. He's with a bunch of young kids who haven't learned the true meaning of winning yet. And I don't know. I feel like it might have been a mistake to go to LA if he really wanted to win now. They do sit 7 games out of a playoff spot. They're 15 games back of the Golden State Warriors, whereas the LA Clippers sit 8th and are 8 games back. It's very surprising that the Clippers have been able to continue winning after that Tobias Harris trade. But that's pretty much it for basketball. I don't believe the Lakers will make the playoffs. So much for those Lakers fans thinking that they were going to win it all this year. But, yeah, nope. But we're just going to move on to baseball now. It's in the offseason now. And a report was released earlier today that former Blue Jay Troy Tulowitzki, who was released by the Blue Jays earlier this offseason, said that he doesn't pay attention to boos from Blue Jay fans. Now, Tulowitzki, the Jays are pretty much paying his full salary of $25 million, I believe. And why would they give him up to a Yankees team, just release him in general? And he was then signed by the Yankees. But why would they release him if they were going to pay that much? It's just like, it makes no sense to me why you would take on all that money to just have him play for another team. Why not bring him back to your team, let him prove himself, maybe have a decent season, maybe be garbage, and then from there, you could trade him and maybe get some value in return. Do you think it was smart for the Jays to release him, or do you believe they should have kept him on the squad?
Honestly, in my opinion, I think they should have kept him. Tulowitzki has done some good stuff for the team in the past, and I don't think it was a good idea if they do release him. I would like to keep him personally, but like you said, shit happens. You never know what happens in the freaking leagues, man. It's crazy, but I would like to keep him. I don't know. Would you like to keep him as well?
Yeah, I said I would. I think it's not even that he's like such a great player that would make the Jays good. It's just that the fact that you're taking on that much money and you're getting absolutely nothing in return makes zero sense to me. But let's stop talking about past stars the Jays had. Let's talk about current and future stars the Jays might have in Vladdy Guerrero Jr. He is the number one ranked baseball prospect in the MLB, and he was sent down to the minors today. He does have a little bit of an injury, so they probably shut him down for the spring, just being careful. But do you think that Vladdy Guerrero will be brought up this season?
I hope so. You're saying he's number one prospect. I hope we have him. It'll help us tremendously. I don't know. I don't know if they sent him down for the injury or if they sent him down maybe thinking that we can do it without him. But hopefully he comes back up and we do take him. Obviously, being number one, you're obviously something special. You're pretty good, obviously.
Yeah, well, sending him down, if the Jays are going to bring him up, it's going to be as early as the 20-game mark into the season, because I believe if they call him up at the 20-game mark, they retain an extra year on his rookie contract. So you get to keep the best prospect in the MLB for cheaper, for longer. I would 100% do that. And then finally, we're just going to end this off in the very strong AL East. Toronto Blue Jays, Boston Red Sox, Tampa Bay Rays, Baltimore Orioles, and the New York Yankees. You're looking at the two top teams in the division is going to be the Yankees and the Red Sox. The Yankees have added James Paxton this offseason, Tulowitzki, and they've just, obviously they have Stanton, Aaron Judge. They have an amazing team. But do you think the Jays can possibly somehow get a wild card spot and, I don't know, make it into the playoffs? Or do you think a team like the Tampa Bay Rays, not the Orioles, they have no chance of making it, but you think a team like the Tampa Bay Rays will make it into the wild card spot, or the Blue Jays, or do you think the team that the Blue Jays have could possibly make it into a playoff spot?
Obviously, I'm going to say, because I'm a Blue Jays fan coming from Toronto, I hope they do make it into the playoff spot. I don't know. It's all over the place. I hope they do end up. Obviously, I don't know if they'll win the championship. I don't think they're that good.
Well, no, I think they'll be lucky if they make the playoffs.
You don't think they can do it though, or what?
They don't really have any big players right now. They traded away Donaldson to the Braves. They haven't really. They have Bo Bichette coming up. They have Kevin Biggio. They have Vladdy Guerrero Jr. They have a ton of young prospects that in, say, 5 years, they could be really good. But this season, talking about this season in a whole, the Jays will do absolutely nothing. I think the Rays are a much better team than they are. Red Sox and Yankees are two of the best teams in the MLB. I think they're the two teams to beat heading into this season. And that's all I got to say about the MLB. Jays don't stand a chance. Red Sox, Yankees, whoever
Never
wins.
Know come through, man. Hopefully.
Whoever wins between the Yankees and Red Sox
crossed.
in the ALCS or ALDS this year, it's going to be who's going to win the World Series again, in my opinion, even with Bryce Harper heading to the Phillies and everyone else heading to the Phillies. But that's going to be it from me. Sam, you have anything to add on the MLB? And let us know.
No, I don't. Other than just hoping that the Blue Jays can do something.